Want to find out what the best Seeker build is with the BTSU gloves? Well, in today's video, I'm going to tell you guys what you need to get and what you need to equip. Asiva, this is LaserBolt, and one of the biggest factors currently right now is the BTSU gloves. If you haven't had a chance to actually get the BTSU gloves, let me know in the comment section down below if you have them or if you don't have them. And if you would like to see a farming video for that, because I do see a lot of people struggling trying to get them. But the BTSU guys kind of revolutionized the way we play the game, because we had two major things happen within the span of the week. We got the gloves, and we also got the update with title update number 5, which gave us a big tremendous boost into skill building. And what this did, it made everything that has to do with skills that much powerful. And one of the most powerful things we got were the Seekers. Now these are very good because they allow you to clear out tons of areas super duper fast without you doing any much of the work. The only thing that you need to do is learn how to put a perfect build together so you can destroy anything that stands in your way. Later on in the video, I'm going to give you guys a tip you might not know that would almost give you unlimited Seekers. So I'm going to let you guys know exactly how you'll be able to do that. But before we get started, I do want to remind you guys about our monthly giveaway. We're giving away one free copy of SEEKER for the console of your choice. To enter, super easy. All you got to do is click the link where it says Join Bolt Nation. You will be automatically entered, so good luck to everyone that's participating. Alright, so now let's dive into this build. So for this build, let's talk about the attributes and what you're going to be targeting to get. So let's take a look at what we have. So we're for the red, blue, and yellow. The main concept here, guys, is to target the yellow. You want to make sure you have anything that's higher than a 7. You guys, that is the target you want to go with. Anything higher than a 7 is what you want. Now, the thing here I want you to keep in mind is the higher this number goes, the more damage you're going to be doing. So the target is 7. But theoretically speaking, if you could get this to 15, 14, that is what you want to do, because the more you get it higher, the more you will be able to do more damage. In addition to that, guys, you want to make sure you have more blue than you do red, because we're going to be doing most of our offensive killing with our skills. So you want to make sure you're doing like a really high yellow and as high as blue as you possibly can. Offensive doesn't really matter because we're going to be getting most of our offense from our skills, and also we're going to be using a couple talents that are going to help us compensate. So what I would suggest a target you're looking for here is maybe 3 offensive and at least a maximum of 10 utility plus. That is what I would target. If you could get any of these higher, then that is what you want to shoot for. Now, since this is an explosive build, we are going to lack very much in a lot of the talents that we have that give us damage to elite and also give us weapon damage. So you're going to want to make sure you play close attention, because the weapon we're going to be picking is going to throw a lot of you guys off, and you guys are going to probably be wondering, like, what do you mean I got to use that weapon? Hear me out and you guys will understand why we're using this weapon. So for my primary, guys, we're going to use the SEEKER 21. Yes, guys, the SEEKER 21. I'm pretty sure some of you guys have some stashed in your inventory, or if you guys deleted them, let me know in the comment section down below if you don't own one. I would like to know how many people have one or kept one if they actually picked one up. Now, the reason and only reason we're picking up this weapon over the P416 is because from this weapon alone, we'll be able to get 15 damage to elites in addition to whatever other damage to elite we put on. What we're going to want to make sure we use is in our low reflex sight, we're going to put that 10% damage to elite, and also in the muscle break, we're going to add that additional 5% damage to elite. That's going to give us a total of 15 damage to elite just off the weapon alone. We cannot get it from any other weapon. Only from this particular weapon we're actually able to get that damage to elite. Now, for our talents for the weapon, we want to make sure we have Spike. That is a priority talent. You want to make sure that the weapon has this. Headshot kills grant 35% skill damage for 20 seconds. Then for our secondary, Allegro, it's not a priority, but if you are able to roll one with Allegro, then yeah, GG's, boys. You guys are on sync. And for our last talent, or our bottom tree talent, or our holster talent, we want to make sure we have in rhythm. While equipped, enemy kills have a 5% chance to refresh. Active skill cooldowns can occur every 60 seconds. That's the ideal loadout if you're trying to get a perfect or a God Roll SEEKER for this particular build, so make sure you guys are keeping that in mind. But the two main talents you want to make sure you have is Spike and In Rhythm. Now for our secondary weapon, we're definitely running the Merciless, guys. If you're ever running an explosive build and you're not running the Merciless, I don't know, you're doing everything completely wrong. The reason why you want to run the Merciless is because not only does it have really high damage now, but it also allows you to detonate explosives, and in addition to that, it gives you the opportunity to get into the Brutality talent, which says while holstered, landing a shot has a 5% chance to deal plus 20 damage as explosive damage. So if you're not running this and you're running an explosive build, you're definitely doing something wrong. And last but not least, let's talk about our third dirty weapon, like I always like to call it. For this in particular, we're just wanting to make sure we run the holster talent. Now the holster talent I'm going to recommend is Rooted. It says while equipped and in cover, all skill damage and healing is increased by 25% for 10 seconds. Buff is lost when exiting cover. It can occur once every 16 seconds. The reason why this is important is because we're going to be tapping into that damage increase of 25% for 10 seconds. So that's going to help us output a little bit more damage than we usually would if we are in cover. All right, so now on to the mask and the gear, guys. For the mask, we're going to be running a Providence defense mask. We're going to be running this with one yellow, one red. And we're going to try to run this mask with the most damage to elites we could possibly get. Remember, the most damage to elites we could get is 55. If you're trying to figure out how exactly you want to farm these, definitely check out my video on how to farm the high damage to elite mask. It's definitely worth a shot, and you guys should definitely try to get it. So if you think about it, if we get that 55 damage to elite on the mask, and we compensate that with the 15 we're getting from the CTAR, that's going to put us at 65. Now, granted, we could definitely run as our talent. We could definitely run hard hitting and give us more additional damage to elite. But I think 65 is a very sweet number. We could get it all the way to 75 with that plus 10 damage to elite with hard hitting. But I think Destructive would run perfectly here because we want to get as much explosive damage as we can. Now, if you guys feel that your mask is too low and you're not getting that much damage to elites, then replace Destructive with hard hitting if you feel that you're not outputting too much high damage to elites. I think the sweet number for the damage to elite on a mask is around 40, and you get that extra 15 just from the weapon itself. That should put you like at least at 55, which is a really good number to have. Now, it's not the best one. I think ideally you want to be at 65, but it's still a decent number to have. Now, one thing I forgot to mention on a side note, the reason why we want to run Providence is because we want to tap into that 10% skill power. So that's the reason why we're running a Providence. Now, on to the backpack. Now, for the backpack, guys, we're running the brand set Alps Summit, and we're going to want to make sure we're running two of these. The reason why we're running an Alps Summit is because we want to tap into that 10% cooldown reduction. And remember, I said we're going to run another one that's going to give us an additional plus 5 skill power. But for the backpack, this is what we're running. We're going to be running Alps Summit. We want to have one that drops with at least 3 yellows and 1 blue. That would be your main target, to have one with that amount of yellows and that amount of blues. For the talents, we're going to be running Destructive, of course, getting that 20 plus explosive damage. And for our second talent, we're going to be running Vital, which is going to give us an additional 20 plus health, which should help us get a little bit more health, because with this build, we're not going to have that much health. So we're going to have a lot of power, but we're not going to have a lot of health. So we're going to have to use some talents to play this out in order to be able to restore our health when we are in cover. All right, so now on to the chest piece. For the chest piece, once again, guys, we're running that Alps Summit because we want to tap into that 5% skill power. And in addition to that, guys, you're going to want to make sure you're looking for one that drops with the following attributes. At least you want to make sure you are able to do 2 yellows on here. If you could get more, that's awesome. So you're looking for one that drops with like at least 1 yellow, 1 blue. And then in gear mod slots, you're able to put blue, red, and yellow. So that's what you're looking for. That would be the ideal setup. But if you can't, your definitely main target here is 2 yellows. Now, of course, for the talent, we're running Destructive once again, because we are going to need to get that 20 plus explosive damage. Remember, we're doing the Michael Bay build, so we want to make sure we get as much explosion as we possibly can. Now for the gloves, guys, of course, we're running the BTSU because that is what makes this build amazing. And remember, the reason we're running this is because we want to tap into that talent that's going to allow us to apply status effect and give us more additional damage when we're doing that. I'll talk a little bit later in the video how we're going to be applying this and making sure it procs very frequently. Now for the holster, guys, we're going to be running a Fenris group AB. The reason why we're running the Fenris group is because we want to tap into that 10% assault rifle damage. Since we're running an assault rifle, we might as well boost that as much as we can, because remember, we're going to be using our seeker mines, but that doesn't mean that our seeker mines are going to be doing all the work. We're also going to be able to need to use the gun. So if we are able to get a little bit more damage to our AR, that's going to make it even more better. So we want to make sure we have something in our inventory that's going to allow us to output a little bit more damage with our AR. Now on to the last piece that's going to complete our complete build, and that's going to be the knee pads. Now you're also going to want to watch the rest of the video, because I'm going to explain what type of skills we're going to be using. So for the knee pads, we're using the Shine a Light Industry. The reason why we're running Shine a Light is because we want to tap into that 10% explosive damage that we get by just using the name brand. In addition to that, if you're trying to figure out what attributes you're looking for here, you're looking for one to drop with at least one yellow and give you access to a gear mod that's going to let you put a red in it. Now, if you could put a yellow on it, that's fine, or a blue, just that your main concern is here you want it to drop in yellow. The other main concern you want to make sure you get here is you want to make sure you get a talent called Calculated. It says kills from cover reduce skill cooldown by 20%. This is going to be very crucial, because this is going to allow us to use our seeker mines very frequently, which makes this build super duper OP, because the more we're able to use our seeker mines, the more boom bada bang we're going to be able to do to the enemy. Now remember when I said earlier in the video that I was going to give you guys a way to get almost unlimited seeker mines? Well, with this build, if you do it correctly, and I'll give you the stats almost towards the end of the video, you will be able to get your seeker mines to a cooldown of 10 seconds. So basically every 10 seconds you should have a mine to throw out. Now the tip I'm going to give you is going to cut that down to 5 seconds. Yes guys, you heard it correctly, 5 seconds with this build. What you're going to want to do is, as soon as you throw and lob your seeker mine, if you cancel it, your mine will go out, but it will reduce the cooldown by half a percentile. So it's something you got to practice and something you got to get used to doing. Throw the seeker mine, cancel it as soon as you throw it, the mine will go out and you will retain that cooldown of 50% lower. So theoretically speaking, if you do this correctly and you remember to do it, you will have seeker mines every 5 seconds. It's super OP, and I recommend everybody get used to doing it before or after, or maybe it doesn't even get patched. So something you guys should definitely get used to doing. All right, so now to give you guys the numbers. On to the numbers. Yeah, so the numbers, guys, you're going to be looking to, you want to make sure you're targeting at least 120 skill haste. What this is going to do, it's going to allow you to get that 10-second cooldown with your seeker mines. Remember, the more skill haste you have, that faster you'll get your skills. Now, as far as health is concerned, you want to make sure you get these like in the upper 180. Anything higher than 180 should put you in a relatively good spot. Now, the skills we're going to be running for this particular build, we're going to be running one, of course, seeker mines. And number two, we could go with two different options. We could go with option A, which would be a firefly, to make sure that when we throw the firefly, it blinds the enemies and it's applying that status effect to the enemy. Or if you guys feel that you guys are relatively good in not running out of grenades and applying the status effect with just nades alone, then you could go with a striker drone, because the striker drone is going to be outputting a lot of damage. So it's going to be kind of your choice right here, which whatever type of skill you want to go, you could either go seeker mine with a striker drone, or you could go seeker mine with a firefly. Either or, it all depends on how you're proccing the status effect. It basically boils down to you being able to proc the status effect every single time before you launch your seeker mines. That's the main goal we're trying to do here. Now, as far as specialist is concerned, definitely demolitionist, because you're already running something that's going to give you extremely amount of explosive damage. The demolitionist has his grenade launcher. That's going to give you more damage to output to enemies. So it's a really good one to run. Out of all the ones you could definitely pick, this is by far one that I highly recommend you guys should definitely go with. And there you guys have it. That is my Michael Bay build with the explosive damage. You're going to be doing a ton of damage if you guys put this build together. So if there is something in the build that you might want to change up and you feel that I should know, let me know in the comment section down below. If you run a similar build and you have something different, also let me know in the comment section down below. Or if you have a question in regards to the build, once again, guys, hit me up in the comments. I hope you did find this video helpful and informative. If you did, guys, do me the huge favor, drop a like on this video. Share this video with your friends so they can know a very good explosive build to put together. And if you guys want to go the extra mile and show additional love and support, consider joining the Bolt Nation. To join, it's super easy. All you have to do is click the link down below where it says Join Bolt Nation, and you guys will unlock exclusive features only found in the channel. Thank you guys for watching, and don't forget WGATAP, and I will catch you guys on the next video.